Good evening, y'all. Lieutenant Vaccaro, 3-4 Precinct.
Good evening. Thanks for joining.
Looks like we have a small group today. We'll be getting started shortly.
I'm sure the weather and everyone trying to get home and get ready before this nasty storm hits doesn't help us.
Exactly. Could you tell me your name again from the 3-4?
Lieutenant Christopher Vaccaro, it's V like Victor, ACCARO. I'm subbing in for Lieutenant Tavares, the Special Ops Lieutenant. He is currently away for the day.
Got it. Thank you. Chanel, are you there?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know if there are any folks in the office who attended in person?
I oh no, I don't know.
Okay.
Ebenezer's at the office, but I haven't heard anything.
Got it. Because that was an option, I guess, for people, and I guess it was a little confusing. By the way, my video is not working, so I won't have it on today, unfortunately. But I see all your faces and names. I think it'll be a short meeting today since there are not many people joining and the weather is so bad. Chanel, could you move over the attendees in case they have questions for the precinct? Chanel, are you moving the attendees over to the... Thank you.
Yeah, I'm trying to move them over.
Okay, thank you. We'll get started in a few minutes. Okay, there are two others in the attendees. We're going to go ahead and get started, though I'm expecting a small crowd. And because we don't have any resolutions or major things, it will just be updates from the precinct, and will be we don't have any resolutions to attend. It was kind of confusing with the messages of meeting in person and meeting online, so I think some are confused and may be in the office. Who knows? We'll go ahead and get started. Janelle, if that's okay with you.
Okay.
Great. So welcome to our Public Safety Committee meeting for Community Board 12. We are back in session. It's been a great summer. Hopefully you all found time to relax and to enjoy the beautiful hot weather we've been having over the past few weeks. It looks like we are moving into a new direction with the storms, and maybe that'll bring in a cool front and usher us into the fall season. I want to just announce, because it is our first meeting of the year and it's also my final meeting chairing the Public Safety Committee, due to a variety of changes and prioritizing things that I have going on. I have to move on from chairing. I'm not leaving the board. I'll still be serving on CB12, but I will no longer be able to chair the committee because I can't commit to the additional meetings that go along with being a chair and all the additional responsibilities at this time. So it's been a pleasure serving as chair the past few years, and I've learned a lot, worked with great people, and I'm looking forward to continuing our work together in other capacities. So without further ado, we have a light agenda today. We have updates from the precinct, and we also need to have a preliminary discussion. I don't think we have to go into much detail on the budgeting process, expense and capital report. It's that time of year, so we should be reviewing that this month and then coming back with our suggestions for the October meeting in advance of the next steps that happen at the full board level, so in November. So I'm going to turn it over now to the representative lieutenant from the 34th precinct.
Good evening, y'all. I am Lieutenant Christopher Vaccaro of the 34 precinct, Sub-Lieutenant for Lieutenant Tavares. Quick update. So for our 28-day CompStat review.
Pause for 1 second. I want to just also acknowledge and introduce other board members who are present. We have Sally Fisher from CB12, Bruce Robertson, also not members of the committee, but members of the board. And from the committee, we have Joseph Kalinski, and I don't see any other attendees online. Maybe they're in the office listening. But so thank you all for joining this evening. Lieutenant.
Hi again, y'all. Lieutenant Vaccaro again here. So I'm going to go through our 28-day crime complaints. So for murders, we have 1 this year versus 0 last year. For rapes, we have 1 rape this year, 1 rape in the 20-day period as opposed to 2 last year. So we're down 50%. Robberies, we have 11 this year versus 20 last year. So we're down 45%. Felony assaults, we have 27 this year versus 10 last year. So we're up 170%. Burglaries, we have 7 this year versus 20 last year. So we are down 65%. We have 47 grand larcenies versus 32 last year. So up 46%. And grand larceny autos, we have 25 this year versus 19 last year, which is up 31%. So we have 119 total major crimes the 20-day period as opposed to 103 last year. We are 15.5%. As you see, a lot of that was the grand larcenies and the grand larceny autos. We have a very bad string currently of grand larceny autos. What they are doing is people are double parking their vehicles and leaving them running with the key fob on their person when they leave the vehicle, whether it's to go get food or run into a store, whatever it may be. Unfortunately, with the new technology, you can get in these running cars and drive away, and the car will run as long as you keep it driving. So if you turn the car off, it's dead. You need the key fob again. But if you get in a car, whether the key fob is there or not, once it's been started with the key fob present, the car can go until it runs out of gas. They're being stolen primarily outside bars and restaurants and bodegas. People run in thinking they're leaving the car door parked, whether it's to keep the car cool or I'm going to be 30 seconds to get a bottle of water. And people are walking, scouting these cars, walking up, simply opening the door, getting in, driving away, making it look like their own vehicle. It's a very hard crime to detect, unfortunately, because it's as simple as walking up to a vehicle, pulling the door handle, getting in, and driving away. And until they report the car stolen, and that time, even if it's 3 or 4 minutes, they're usually over the bridge on the way to New Jersey already. We are working with auto crime to combat this. We have we've asked the city for a bait car, which is essentially a car that has this technology built into it, but also has a kill switch. So we park near the car, we have eyes on it in our unmarks, and somebody tries to steal the car, they can only go 300 or 400 feet. The car, we automatically turn the car off, lock the doors, and then we can apprehend the suspects. So hopefully we'll be able to attain one of those operations shortly, and that should help at least lead to identifying some of these crew members that are stealing these vehicles. And it is a wide range of vehicles also being stolen, from brand new cars to older cars, older being 4 or 5 years old, that have this technology. So we're putting out information via Twitter and via our Facebook, and the city, it's a citywide problem currently. So they're posting media as much as they can and going to continue this push, because unfortunately now with the weather changing, it's going to get cold out again. People will want to keep their car warm when they run in the store, and this problem will continue to occur. So we're working with a bunch of different units, and we're going to try to make progress, but it is a serious problem we are dealing with that's leading to a lot of our crimes currently. Our shootings, we are working hard on them. We have this to work against our shootings. We now have shooting posts on every tour, and we primarily base them around the latest shootings. So we'll have anywhere from 2 to 3 cars per tour a day out there, as well as transit posts out there to avoid all transit problems that we've had in the recent years. So we are working diligently and putting as many guys out there as we can. Our guys are working tirelessly. We're making a lot of good arrests, and everyone's working really hard. We're following up great with the help of our NCOs and our community affairs and our detective squad to further our crime control strategies. And we're always trying to do a little more. We have grand larceny stat tomorrow downtown, where we're going to meet with all the big chiefs, and we're going to continue to work on strategies to help stop these violent crimes that are causing a lot of distress in our area.
Got it. Thank you.
So again, please tell everybody you speak to, family members, friends, don't leave the car running. I know it's a pain. I know you want the car cool. I know it may seem 30 seconds. Finding parking is very difficult anywhere around this area. Got to try to find legal parking. And if you choose to not find legal parking, you got to turn the car off and take the keys with you.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
These guys are very good at it, and they know what cars to target, and they are so fast in getting in the car and driving away. We have to work together as a community to solve these problems, unfortunately.
Thank you very much. It's been one of the reoccurring issues, the GLA numbers over the past few years, actually. So I'm really interested in hearing more about the bait car tactic and seeing if that could work. Is that something that's used in other areas of the city? Is that newly coming to our community, or is it something that has been worked well in other places?
It's a citywide tactic they've had for a couple of years. The issue is the city doesn't have a lot of these cars, mm-hmm. and they often break because there's a lot of technology involved in having the remote access to this vehicle. So we are on the list to get them, and they're trying to repair the ones we have, and they know this is the problem, so they're working to get more cars. It's just a matter of time, unfortunately.
Got it. Okay. I guess we have a few hands that are raised now. We'll start with Sally Fisher.
Yes, I wonder if you could just comment on number of summons issued for quality of life violations, noise, et cetera, and also how many illegal ATVs, dirt bikes, et cetera, you guys have seized in 34th.
I don't have the exact number of the seizures. I know it's well over 100 now, including myself and my driver. We've been working tirelessly to, anytime we can stop somebody, we jump out, whether they're at gas stations or we can safely stop the vehicle. The issue is they don't obey any traffic laws. They don't stop when they're pulled over, and it's mitigating the risk of quality of life and not getting people hurt at the same time. If we get in, a high speed pursuit, they go on sidewalks, they cut through crowds, people will get hurt. We can't risk everyone's lives. But I know it is a nuisance, and we're working hard for it. We have well over 100 seizures. We are weekly doing operations where we target the areas where we know they're coming from the Bronx or the gas stations they gather at. We put unmarked cars out there. We circle them in. A lot of times we can get a few people with them. Oftentimes they're in such large groups that they'll leave their quads and their dirt bikes and jump on somebody else's and take off. So we're seizing as many as we can. And we're actually working with the local store owners that sell dirt bikes and quads to have better requirements for buying them, because a lot of these are under 50 cc's. So you can literally go in, pay $1,500 cash, and you have a running dirt bike. Yep. No one's registering them, no one's insuring them, and it's a nuisance. I know it's a terrifying thing. They go on sidewalks, they go all around. So we're doing a lot. We're working with the borough. We have a brand new traffic safety sergeant, Sergeant Marks. He's working tirelessly to create more seizure plans and to get more overtime from the borough for our traffic guys to get out there and make these seizures to try to stop this problem.
Great, thank you. And also summons issued for noise violations and other quality of life issues.
We are working. They're working on the summons issue numbers downstairs right now. Criminal summonses. We have 4 in the 28-day period. I'm sorry, not 4. We have a 28-day period. We have 408 for the 28-day period for parkers. We have 456 movers, and we have 4 criminal ECB summons. We have well over 50 seizures of speakers. We're taking speakers as much as we can now. We are telling our guys, listen, turn the music off. If they don't turn the music off and we have to come back, we are taking speakers, we're vouchering them, and we are making it becomes very difficult for them to get them back, because once they're issued a summons, they have to go to the district attorney's office, they have to clear their summons, and then they have to get a release. So we are working very hard to deal with these problems. We also are assigning more autos to just 311 quality of life complaints to stop these late night parties, to stop people hanging out in corners and just blasting music.
Great, thank you.
Okay. Do you have any additional information? You mentioned one rate during the 28-day period. Was that connected to, I mean, there's been an increase in violence in the parks and a lot of associated issues. Is this connected?
That was unrelated to the park. It was a separate incident.
Got it. Okay, got it. Is there any update on what is happening in the parks now? Are you all present there? Is there a post? Are you walking around? Any update?
So every tour now we have cars do multiple park visits, drive through, post outside, lights. Our guys walk through, make sure everything's calm and quiet. We are also connecting with parks on a daily basis to make sure that they are increasing their patrols. We have scooter task force going in and out of the parks because it's easier for them to get their scooters through the parks to try to reduce the horrible event that happened that evening.
Got it. Thank you very much. Okay. Are there any additional questions for the 3-4? I see one question from Chris. Yes, Chris.
Yes, hi. I have a question just regarding cars that are like illegally parked or abandoned. Like there's been a car that's been destroyed that's parked across the street from my building. It's been there for a month. There was an accident there, and I've called 311 many times, and no one listens. The car just stays there. I was wondering, what can someone do about something like that?
So what can be done is we can notify sanitation of the location of the vehicle. They'll send somebody out in the next day or two. Once they tag it and they deem it that it is a derelict vehicle and it is just complete junk, they will come and they will tow it. It's the issue is they have lots that are also full, so they have to have room for it. So if you give me the address, I will gladly walk down the hallway when we're done with this meeting and get forward to my traffic guys who will notify sanitation and we can make a move on it. What's the address of your building, Chris?
The address that it's in front of is 809 Riverside Drive.
809 Riverside Drive. You wouldn't happen to know what kind of car it is by chance? I
do. I know what kind of car it is, and I have the license plate.
Go for it, please. It's
a Ford Explorer, red.
Okay.
And the license plate is HWZ 7593.
7593. Okay. I will literally walk down the hallway when we're done, and I will give it to my traffic guys to get moving on tonight.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. Are there any other questions for the 3-4? Do we have someone on the line from the 3-3?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there someone on the line from the 3-3? All right. I was hoping the CEO would be joining us, but apparently it was unavailable. So we're going to keep moving to the district attorney's update. Jocelyn.
Yes. Hi. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Hi. Good evening, everyone. How is everyone tonight?
Very good.
Hope staying dry. It's bad out there. So we're just, trying to get back on track. We've trying to be able to open fully. Hopefully, fingers crossed, starting September the 13th. And when I say we, I'm talking about the satellite offices. Even though we are operating 4 days a week now, we want to be able to just go ahead and open up fully. So we're just waiting for the CDC guidelines, and hopefully the 13th will be when they give us the green light to start. But we have been very active this whole time, as I'm sure Ellie has reported. to you when she has come to the meetings. Right now, what we're trying to tackle is just we've seen an increase, and I'm sure some of you have seen the reports on these fake vaccination cards. So there was a woman that was arrested. She's from Jersey, along with 13 other people that bought the fake cards. As we all know, it's a major public safety concern, public health concern, and it is being monitored. From what I understand, there was another person that also had access to the Excelsior Pass, and she was willing to add these names as persons that actually got a valid to those vaccination. And that is, of course, on the federal level, and she was arrested as well. We've made a big push going on into senior centers during the summer, or at least to speak to senior center directors and go on Zoom and be able to speak to the seniors that are able to communicate via Zoom with their centers, just letting them know of all these scams that continue to go on, COVID related, IRS related, Social Security related. So those things are alive and well, and sadly thriving during this lockdown and the pandemic. So we continue to just try and put the word out with regards to that. And then I'm sure that you all heard as well the ghost guns. There was a major arrest made in the 3-3 confines of 2 people who actually were able to manufacture functioning ghost guns. And thankfully they were arrested. And we continue our efforts to go after, people that buy these guns, people that make these guns. It's a horrible scourge, and I'm sure it's a bigger problem than we all care to realize. But as an office and with our partners in NYPD, we're trying to stay on top of it to be able to curb this new phenomena, which is ghost guns. For those of you who do not know what a ghost gun is, it's guns that people can actually make at home. There's a gun making kit, and people can buy these parts online and actually assemble a working gun. That's of course not registered, but can actually fire. They work. So we've been busy trying to curb that as well. So that arrest of those 2 people here in our backyard, so to speak, is really a major deal for us. And, we're going to continue and try and tackle that. So, other than that, we continue chugging along. As I said, looking forward to our 5-day opening and back to the new normal, as they say. And try and get a lot of these cases adjudicated and off the dockets and, and move on. So that is what we're thriving for right now. And that's all that I have today. If anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you very much for the update, especially pertaining to the ghost guns. I didn't know this was a thing.
But yeah, I'll send you the press release, Curtis.
Thank you very much. I'll be
great
to read. All right. Are there any questions for the District Attorney Representative, Jocelyn Minaya? No questions?
Sometimes that's a good thing. I'm not mad.
That's a good thing. All righty. Are there any other, there aren't any other representatives on the line. So I think we've gone through all of our updates. We don't have anyone from the 3-3 here this month. Unfortunately, so that could be it. Give me a second. I'm going to, and because we don't have our committee members present, and I'm not really sure if they are in the office listening. It's been very confusing figuring out where people are, but I guess the governor just signed that we signed the law that we were going to continue to be available doing virtual workshops. So if you are listening on the committee, we're not going to go into great detail on the expense and capital report today because we only have Joseph and myself here. I'm going to encourage all the committee members to review our rankings from last year as a homework assignment, and we will discuss and do our rankings at our next meeting in October, because I believe we have until November to have everything submitted. So we have to have, we need the first step is to review it comprehensively ourselves and to think about additional items that we want to add to the meeting for October. I also think there's going to be a new chair, so for public safety, and it's probably fair for them to lead this process and not me as I exit the chair position. So I would encourage all of our committee members just to go through the list and to think of things that may have been missed last year and things you want to advocate for moving forward. All right, are there any final questions? This is the shortest meeting I think we've ever had. And I blame the rain or the confusing emails. All right, well, thank you all for joining, and we will see you all in a few weeks in person, hopefully at the general meeting.
Oh, sure.
Take care.
Thank you for your service.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Curtis.
Great,
Thank you
Curtis.
for-
Curtis has been really
Good job.
Yeah,
Great.
great job.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm not going anywhere. I'll still be on the board, but you know, you have a new public safety leader, and I'm
You're
hoping-
leaving big shoes to fill, though, Curtis.
Well, thank you. That means a lot to me, Yosef. I really
Okay, I
appreciate
mean it. Okay, have a good